My screen is visible, no?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarini. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Anantakoti Vaishnavanti ki jai Namacharya Das Thakur ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Less people. Okay. So welcome everyone to understand Gita in 18 days. So today chapter 3, Karma Yoga, Yoga of Action. So in Bhagavad Gita, the first 6 chapters are about karma. Like from karma, by karma, how we can connect to God. So what is the meaning of yoga is nothing but connecting to God. So how through karma, through work, how we can connect to God. So the first 6 chapter we learned that. And the next 6, like 7th to 12th chapter is about through bhakti, means directly by bhakti. And then from chapter 7 to chapter 13 to chapter 18 by jnana. So by jnana, how one can connect with the Lord. So let's go to the chapter. So let's pay our obeisances to Sri Radha Govind. Let's take their blessing so that we can understand the Bhagavad Gita. And their obeisances to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So overview of the chapter. So Arjuna has a confusion. So he asked Krishna, is it renunciation is better or action? Should I renounce everything or is the action? We'll go into detail later. So Nishkama Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga. So instead of just gaining knowledge, it is better to do karma, which is like not expecting the fruits, but doing the karma is called as Nishkama Karma. Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. And then Nishkama Karma Yoga to set the right example. Conquering the lust, the greatest enemy. So these are the 5 divisions in this chapter, which we are going to see. So basically in Kali Yuga, we need some engagement. It is not possible that we don't do any work. There has to be some work. So this is Sakama to Nishkama. So this is a verse from yesterday's chapter. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma palaheturpu ma te sangosva karmani. So what it says, you have right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. So, karmanye vadhikaraste. So, what does it mean? You have right only to perform the duty, right? Everybody wants to have adhikar means right. So we have only right to do the duty. Ma paleshu kadachana means you don't have, we cannot get attached to the fruits. So you may think like if somebody is going for job, okay, and then they work so hard from morning to night and then they get the salary, and then Krishna is telling here, don't get attached to the result. How is it possible? The question may come, right? Doesn't look logical. So we can learn this with an example. Krishna shows here. We can understand with the example. So this person he's sowing a seed here. Okay. So he puts water, he throws the seed, and there is it sprouts, and then there is a small plant, and then it grows to tree. And then he gets lot of mangoes, he grows, right? And then he wants to pick it, and then Krishna comes and says that everything belongs to me. So then he's shocked and surprised. How is it possible? I have done everything, right? The question may come to all of us. Don't you feel the same question? How is it possible? So
Yes,
then,
Mama.
right? So Krishna is asking here, okay, you say that you have done everything. So did you design the sun? So who has given the sun? Because without sunlight, it is not possible. And who has given the moon? Because in chapter 15, Krishna says that the taste that we get in the vegetables is because of the moon. And this is not even known to the science. Because Krishna says, I become the moon and I give the taste to the vegetables, because of which we are able to release the taste. So have you designed the moon? No, he says. And then what about the clouds? Have you designed the clouds? How does it rain? So that is also the person is not responsible. Then how, okay, at least have you designed the seed? What about the seed? From where did you get? That is also from Krishna, right? So everything belongs to the Lord. And how can we say that it belongs to us? So, but this is not so easy to understand. This leads, we are in a bodily concept. So for us, it is not easy to understand this principle. So this is called as your principle of karma yoga. So we go back to the previous point where Krishna said, so ma karma pala heturpu. So what happens when you are saying that don't attach to the result, then the person will lose interest in work. So Krishna is also mentioning here, but then ma karma pala heturpu, but because you are not the cause, right? That we saw in that example, because we are not the cause for that action. So mate sangosva akarmani means that does not mean that you should leave your work, but you have to do. So Krishna says, never be attached to not doing your duty. So we have to do our duty, and as a Kshatriya, you have to fight. That is what Krishna is trying to tell in this shloka. Arjuna uvacha jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatvika tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi Keshava. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare if you think that intelligence is better than work? So now, actually, in the chapter 2, Krishna speaks a lot about Buddhi Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and he talks about the soul and everything, right? So the qualities of soul and these things. So whenever there is a knowledge, Krishna says, so then Arjuna comes into confusion that maybe if I have to develop knowledge, then I have to leave all the work. That's how it looks for him. So then he's asking here, so if intelligence is better, then why are you asking me to engage in this war, ghastly war? So why should I do this? So This is Arjuna's doubt. Vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohaya shiva me tat ekam vada nischitya yena shreyoham apnuyam. Okay, somebody can read the translation. Yes, Parnika.
You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty.
Yes. So we have only right to perform the duty. So here Arjuna's doubt. So what do you think by seeing this? What thought does it give to your mind when you see this image? Yes. What thought comes to the mind when you see this signal? Yes.
We'll be confused that whether which way we should be going, that this way or that way or the other way.
Yes.
The
Not
confusion.
exactly. It can also mean that there's something that we don't know.
Yes.
There are labels. What if we do not know the meaning to the labels? That's when we are confused. What if
Yes.
we know? Then we won't be confused.
Yes. So very good. So all are right. So basically it is a confusion, right? This is basically shows like confusion. So Arjuna is not clear because so many things Krishna told in chapter 2 on different subjects. So Arjuna is not really clear whether I have to renounce everything or I have to what. So he's telling in Shloka 2 that Ekam Vada means tell me one thing, Krishna. So you're telling so many things, I'm getting confused. So here he explained about the in the Shloka 11 to 30, Krishna explained about the properties of the soul and that we are not body, you are not this soul. And why are you repenting for something which is not worth of lamenting, right? So because anyways, the soul does not die, soul is eternal. So, but then Krishna also says that you have to work and you have to fight because when you work for in devotional service, like for Krishna, then there is no sin. So there is the confusion there. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarma krit karyate hi avasha karma sarva prakriti janai jair gunaihi.
All men are forced to act helplessly according to the impulses born of the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment.
So actually Krishna is not trying to confuse Arjuna. Only thing is Arjuna is getting confused, right? So here one should act for the pleasure of Lord. That is a message we can understand here because nobody can stay without working. This is a famous one. Karmendriyani sanyamya yayaste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mityacharasa uchyate. Yes.
One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender.
Okay. Can someone tell what is wrong in this image? This sannyasi, is he fine or he looks like a sannyasi? And what do you think about this sannyasi?
He's talking in a mobile and he has a cigarette in his hand.
So what do you feel when you see this sannyasi? What is the impression you get?
There is a two phase of a sannyasi. First phase is he is very much devotionally and spiritual. We look like him as he's very much into a spirituality, but seeing his appearance is not that much into spirituality.
Yeah. So outer appearance looks like because of his way of dressing, he's like a sannyasi, right? But then what is wrong? Is it holding a mobile is wrong or is it holding a cigarette is wrong here? What is wrong here? Yes, others can answer.
The cigarette, because in one of the later chapters, Krishna clearly defines Satvika foods, Rajasa foods, and Tamasa foods, from which we can know that cigarette is not part of Satvika.
Okay, good. Yes. So basically, it is not just about Satvika or Tamsika. Basically, when somebody is addicted to this, that means his senses are not in control, right? When a person is not able to control his own senses, then why is he wearing this Why is he showing off like a drama, right, in front of people that he is a sannyasi? Sannyasi means he has renounced everything. That means he has full control. Like it is said, Goswami and Godasa. Goswami means one who has controlled his senses. Godasa means who is a slave of his senses. So Goswami is in like for acharyas we call as Goswami because they have completely controlled their senses. But this person, he is so much addicted to, he cannot even control like his senses. Then how can he called as a sannyasi? But he is holding a kamandalu also as a show, and he's worldly talks, right? He's talking in mobile. So actually you can use mobile if you are using for a purpose where for spreading Krishna consciousness, or like Prabhupada always involved in, he used everything, all technology Prabhupada used, but he used for in service of Krishna. So what is Krishna? He's telling as you are going to become a hypocrite, Arjuna, because you are a Kshatriya and he has that Kshatriya blood. But if he leaves that and he runs, he leaves the war and he will go to forest for meditation, what will happen? Even after going to forest, he may see some wild animal, and he has that already his mind will be agitated to fight, right? Because he is a Kshatriya, he cannot stop it. So then he becomes a hypocrite. He cannot concentrate and meditate. So one should not do like a pretender. So Krishna is telling you better you involve in the fight and you punish these people. So who are on the path of adharma. Don't become a pretender. So yes, somebody can read.
On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior.
Yeah, so Krishna is telling here, instead of becoming a pretender, wearing like showing off like a sannyasi to the world, but in mind he's always thinking about the sense object, sense enjoyment. You better be in the material world, do your work, but then without attachment. So here in the picture, what we see is a king of Orissa. This is a 500 years back when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. So this person, Prataparudra, the king, being a king, when there was Jagannath Yatra, every year it will be there now also. So he used to come to the street and he used to clean himself, right? He didn't have attachment. He didn't have pride that, oh, I am king, I should not do this work. So this is better. Krishna is telling, this is better than being a pretending sannyasi. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo hyakarmanaha sharira yatrapi chate na prasidhyet akarmanaha.
Perform your prescribed duty, for action is better than inaction. A man cannot even maintain his physical body without work.
Yes. Nobody can sit without work, right? So even like if somebody is lying simply, you will tell like you will not get food if you don't work. So even an animal, even as any ant, if you take also, it has to work for us to fill his stomach. So no one in this world are, they can live without working. We have to maintain our body. The work is very much essential. Yes. Now this is a cycle of sacrifice. Yes, you can read. Okay, whoever wants to read can raise your hands. So you can, one of you can read. Yes.
Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way, you will always remain free from bondage.
So what is Krishna telling here? Any activity we have to do for satisfaction of the Lord. So this we will understand by a yagna cycle. So it will come next. I will explain you in that. यज्ञशिष्टाष्टिनः सन्तो मुञ्च्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वगं पापा ये पचन्ति आत्मकारणात्.
The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin.
Yes. And Krishna says that Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhaktupahrutam Ashtami Prayatatmanaha. So, one Patra means one leaf, Pushpam is one flower, Phalam is a fruit, and Toyam is water. So, anything you offer me with love, Ashnami means I accept. It is not like Krishna is not, that Krishna is not there. Krishna is there in the deity form. So Krishna, he accepts it. How does he accept? And we may think, okay, I offer, but then how come Krishna is not, I mean, the food is as it is. But then Krishna is Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti Ananda chinme sadujvala vigrahasya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti means this comes in Brahma Samhita, which is the meaning one organ of Krishna, the Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti, one organ can perform functions of the other organ. That means even if Krishna sees that, it is like he has eaten, he can eat, he can walk with legs or he can eat with eyes, because anything can happen. And it says in Bhagavatam that from the heads, right, of Mahavishnu, innumerable planets come out. So this is there in Bhagavatam. So for Lord, anything is possible. And also from his mind, he creates, right? And how was Brahma born? Anybody knows how was Brahma born?
Brahma came from the navel of the Lord Vishnu.
Yes. So it is not like us, like we have to take from a birth from mother's womb, but it is not for Lord like that. But these things are not, we are not able to understand, but that does not mean it is not there, right? Because our understanding is very limited. So here Krishna is telling, offer me, I mean, whoever is not offering to the Lord and they're eating for sense gratification, then they're eating only sin. So we have to offer at least, if I mean at home, whatever we prepare, you can tell your like parents, if you are not preparing, whatever you prepare, like in at least we have to take bath and then prepare. You should not use onion and garlic, okay? And it should be a sattvic food, and sattvic means no non-veg, and you can't keep even onion garlic to God. So that sattvic food we keep and say Hare Krishna mantra, keep 5 minutes, and then you can have it. So it become prasad. So so otherwise, at least we can keep fruits, because in houses, if somebody is having non-veg, so you can't avoid, then at least you can keep fruits and milk. Okay. So then you can at least what happens when we do that? We kind of relationship we develop with the Lord. And also even the veg food, like even if some are vegetarian, they may think, okay, I can eat vegetarian, so it's not sinful. But then even that is also, it has some sin, because plants also, when we take it also, we harm the plants also. And also so many pesticides are used, and so many small microorganisms can die when the pesticides are put. And also when we cook, right, when we light the fire, there are again some microorganisms die. And during when the vegetables are brought to the market, on the way there can be a possible, like many animals, there may be difficulty or to the animals, or some may die, and these things. So for that we have to offer to God, and then we have to eat. That is अन्नाद् भवन्ति पर्जन्यो पर्जन्याद् अन्न संभवः यज्ञाद् भवति पर्जन्यो यज्ञ कर्म समुद्भवः.
All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rain. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born out of prescribed duties.
Yes, so why is Krishna asking us to offer him? So basically it is a cycle of sacrifice. So we have to offer, because when we do the sacrifice, the demigods get satisfied, and when they get satisfied, we get a timely rain and everything, right? So grain, rain, everything. So where is that chakra? Okay, it's coming here. Okay. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yagne pratishtitam.
Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice.
One more shloka and then we go. I'll explain this in the cycle chart. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartantyahi tyatiha aghayur indriya ramo mogham partha sajivati.
My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice, thus established by the Vedas, certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain.
Okay, so now we'll see. So you can see here, so there is Lord, and from Lord has given the Vedas. So what are Vedas? Vedas basically are set of instructions what Krishna has given. So how one has to live in this material world. So these things are mentioned in the Vedas. And by reading Vedas, what would you do? So Vedas mentions the prescribed duties. So what is the prescribed duties for each ashrama, right? What the Brahmana has to do, what the Kshatriya and what the Vaishya and these things are mentioned in the Vedas. So when the person performs based on his quality and he performs his duties, and then he earns money, and from that money, what he has to do? He has to do the sacrifice. So he has to perform sacrifices, and from that sacrifice, then comes the rain. So this is from the rain, what again we can grow grains. So from the grain, you can prepare food, and that food we are the living beings subsist on that, and also we offer that food to the Lord and then we eat. So this is how the cycle goes, right? So what actually is dharma? Dharma is not something like Hindu dharma or Muslim dharma or Christian, or no, it's not like that. It's not just Hindu dharma. Our dharma is Sanatana dharma. Okay, basically dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Whatever God has instructed, that is called as dharma. Okay, did you understand this cycle of sacrifice, or anybody has any question on this? Is it clear? How does it go?
Mataji, what is particularly known as sacrifice in Kali Yuga?
Yeah, Kali Yuga. Yes, who knows this answer? We have sacrifice for different yugas. Okay, so first yuga, Satya Yuga, there was meditation, because the people used to live for very long years, and so you can meditate on like 1 lakh years. The age was, the lifespan was very big. So meditation, and then came the Treta Yuga, and Treta Yuga, what was the sacrifice? It is the yagnas, right? Are very costly. It was very expensive. Yagnas means you need a lot of ghee, and also you need that kind of brahmanas were there. When even with mantra they were able to ignite the fire. Okay, that was in Treta Yuga, and then came the Dwapar Yuga, where elaborate temple worship. So people used to worship every hour. God was given the bhog, right? God was offered the bhog, but this is not possible, right? In Kali Yuga, we are even very difficult for us even once in a week to go to temple, right? So it is not possible. Yes, Parnika, you can tell what is the yagna for Kali Yuga?
It's Nama Sankirtan, the congregational chanting of the holy name.
Yes, very nice. So chanting of the holy name. So this is the next slide is the same. So what is the, for Kali Yuga, Yagnai Sankirtanai. So what is Yajantihi Sumedasha? So this is said by Chaitanya Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam says that the in Kali Yuga, I mean, is Srimad Bhagavatam, it is the shloka, Canto 11, chapter 5 and verse 32. So it says that Yagnai Sankirtana prior Yajanti Kalei, what is, wait, let me take out the full shloka once. 11.5.32. it says, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parsadam Yagnai Sankirtana Prahir Yajanti Hisumedasha. So basically, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. He is Krishna himself, but Krishna is coming in the color of, he is a golden color. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a proof that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, none other than Krishna himself. So Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangasta Parsadam. So he comes along with his eternal associates from the spiritual world. So the Panchatattva that we chant, right? The name of the Acharyas, they are all his eternal associates. What is in chat? Yeah. So in the complexion of Radharani, yes. So he comes, and then what is the next is very important. And what does he do? Yagnai Sankirtana Prayer. So he starts the Sankirtana movement. And who takes it up? Yajantihi Sumedasha. Medasha means intelligent. Sumedasha means very intelligent. Only very intelligent people take this Sankirtana movement. So this is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Canto 11, you can check it out. So how do we chant? Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. You all can chant. You can repeat this. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadara
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Rama
Hare Rama Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
So basically we chant this Panchatattva before chanting because we want to take their blessings. So unless we have the blessings of the devotees, we cannot get Krishna. So Krishna also says in chapter 10, Yajna Nam Japa Yajnosmi. So in Yajna, I am Japa Yajna. So this is the, yes, please read.
Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains the supreme.
Yeah. So we can see here there are like two people we can see, either in this material world. So even the devotees, they also do the similar kind of work what a materialistic person is doing. But what is the difference? Only difference is there is a Krishna there. So he does all his activities are centered for Krishna, but then we do for sense gratification. But then we can also, like, how can we do that? So by sakama karma, so give a little, start giving by like whatever we earn, some portion, like we have like a person is growing, like he has planted mangoes and he get 100 mangoes, right? What he can do, 10 mangoes he can give to Krishna and 90 he can keep. So slowly what happens, we start developing that giving thing to the Lord. So when we start that, and slowly we can elevate to Nishkama Karma Yoga. So that why we do that? To purify ourselves. So gradually coming to Bhakti Yoga, from Nishkama Karma Yoga to Bhakti Yoga. Karmanyeva hi samsiddhim asita janakadayah loka sangrahamevapi samsayan kartumarhasi.
Even kings like Janaka and others attained the perfectional stage by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work.
Yeah. So Krishna is giving examples to Arjuna that even in the past, like Janaka, who is Janaka? Who is Janaka?
The father of Mother Sita.
Yeah. Yes. Good. So he was already a liberated soul, like he was so knowledgeable, but then he also did his work because those time, even all the kings, like they used to, until the age of 40, they used to handle their kingdom. And then when that age comes, what they do, they hand it over to their sons, and then they go to forest for meditating on the Lord. So even the king like Janaka, everybody, by performing duty, they attained perfection. So Krishna is telling, you have to work. Yadyad acharati shresthastattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. Yes.
Whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues.
Yeah. So what is Lord telling here? Actually, Krishna is telling Arjuna that you have to lead by example. If you run away, right? If you yourself run away from the war, and tomorrow, like somebody wants to go to exam, they may quote you like, okay, Arjuna has ran away from the war. I am not ready for the exam. I will not take it up. So you are going to set a bad example. So Krishna is telling, so everybody is watching you, so you have to set an example. So if a leader is smoking and he is asking the public, you don't smoke, obviously nobody will listen, right? Even at home, if somebody is the parents, if they're watching TV and they're asking children, you don't watch, or if they are themselves always in mobile and asking children not to use, obviously the kid will not listen, right? So if you want the people to listen, basically it is said that children usually see and act, not by, they don't listen, but they imitate the action. That is why it is very important. Our actions are very important. So Prabhupada gives in the purport that the natural leaders, he mentions, are like the head of the state and the parent or a school teacher. So they all have a great responsibility. So whatever they do, the other people follow. So once there was a king who wanted to test the intelligence of his minister. So what does he do? So he brings like all look-alike ministers. So everybody looked like a king. So now minister has to find out who is the king. So minister was very smart and he found out very soon. Like he pointed out that he's the minister. So he's the king. So then king was surprised. So he asked, how are you able to find out? So then he said that because everyone were looking at you. So all of the other people, they were looking at the real king. So that's how he was able to make out. So it is very, so Krishna is telling here, you have to be a role model. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam partha eva cha karmani.
O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in work.
So Krishna is giving his own example. So in the three worlds, Krishna does not have any work because he has himself created it and he is not bound by any karma. God does not have any karma. But then here Krishna is telling, still I am engaged. So Krishna has done, as a son, he has done his duty. So here also you can see he is holding a sandals, right, of his father. So Father Raksha, right? He is keeping that. And also he is involved in war also. He was there as a Sarathi. So what was the need for Lord to do all this? But then because he don't want to set bad example, because people should not quote, oh, Krishna did do. And also he went to Gurukul also. Krishna, though he know he's the creator of Vedas, just imagine, he's the creator of Vedas. But then he went to Gurukul to learn the Vedas. Why? Because he want to set an example, right? Because from tomorrow, later, people should not say that, okay, Krishna has not done, so I will also not do. Yes, please read.
So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, A learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness.
So what is Krishna telling here? Okay, so even if somebody is working for fruitive activities, don't disrupt them. So let them work. Let them work, because this person, now we can see here, the farmer, he is working because whatever whatever he gets little bit, in that you can tell him that he can offer like sakama karma, a portion of it he can let him give to God. So by whatever we earn in the portion of they can come. We cannot completely leave everything and give it to Krishna. Nobody will be ready to do that. So Krishna is telling, let him do, don't disturb them gradually. So slowly one has to engage them. Okay. So the example of mango tree that I gave. So from Sakama Karma, Sakama means giving a portion of our earning to the Lord. And slowly we elevate to Nishkama Karma, where the person, like if he has 100 mango, only he'll keep whatever is sufficient for his life, for his living, and the balance he gives it to the Lord. So that stage is Nishkama Karma. Yes.
The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature.
Yeah. So we think that whatever activity happening, it is I am doing. But actually, there are three modes of nature, right? Sattva, Rajo, and Tamo. So these three gunas are under the control of Krishna. But when we surrender to Lord, Krishna, these three modes also will not act on us. So we get protection from the Lord. But now currently, we are all like, they are acting and making us like a puppet, right? We are we have become a puppet in their hand. We think that we are doing, but actually the three modes are the one who are doing. I am not doing anything. But this is very difficult, not so easy to understand, but this is what happening. So we are so much pride that I am doing it, I am the doer, but actually I'm not the doer. Krishna is telling, its spirit soul is not the doer. It is the false ego. False ego means it is coming because of the association. Our association with material nature makes us believe that I am the doer. Okay, don't get confused. We are going to see in detail in chapter 13 and in the Gnana chapters. It will be very clear. Now this is just an intro. Arjuna uvacha atakena prayukto yam papam charati purushaha anicham api vashneya paladiva niyojitaha.
Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force?
Yeah. So many times we see that even the persons who commit the sinful activities, they also feel bad, because what made them do that time, even we don't know why it happens. So that is what Krishna is asking, what is that which is forcing somebody to do something sinful act even he is not engaged? What is that force? So we can see like getting angry, getting or being greed, being ignorant, becoming envious of others, getting angry at others. These things are very easy, right? Going down is very easy, but then going up is very difficult. Like getting the association of spiritual master or advancing in spiritual life, the going up is not easy, but then it can happen by cultivating knowledge. So what is that? So let's see what is Lord answering for that. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kama esha krodha esha rajo guna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidyenam iha vairinam.
The blessed Lord said, It is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material modes of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all-devouring, sinful enemy of this world.
Yeah, so everything is happening. What is that force? Because of the lust. So in the chapter 2, we saw how did the lust develop? Anyone remembers? The eight stages of fall down. So how did the lust come? How did it start? Can someone tell? Anyone remembers? Yes.
The sense objects leads us to attachment, and
Hmm.
attachment leads us to anger and lust.
Yes, very good. So everything started with that, right? So here Krishna is telling that it is because of the lust, because when the when something the person get more attached to it, the lust develops. So because of that lust, the person performs all sinful activity. So that is the main enemy, sinful enemy of the soul in this world. So whatever we see, Krishna says that, I mean, in the whatever we see in this material world is not pure love. So it is always covered by lust. So we think that it is love, but actually, what is lust? We want to enjoy for our own sense gratification. We use the other person. So that is lust, right? But love is not like that. Love means you do something for the other person's happiness, but lust is for using for my happiness. So that is Krishna is telling us this is coming out of the mode of passion. That is Rajoguna. So Anichad Bhalam Dhumenavritaye Vriyateva Nir Yatha Darsho Malena Cha Yathol Venavrito Garbhas Tata Tene Damavritam. So basically, here we can see different kind of dust covered in different bodies. So this is the fire covered by smoke. This is compared to human life. Okay. And here the mirror is covered by the dust. So this comparison is given to animal life. And the baby in the womb, very difficult position, right? It cannot move very small space and very difficult. So such a situation is compared to the plant life. So we can in the see, we'll come to the first one. So how so the smoke is the fire is covered by a smoke. So basically every one of us, we have that love for God, okay, but it is covered now. So but then when we come into the association of devotees, and that ignites. So it is like a dry grass in the forest. If little, if you put on the smoke, if you put a dry grass, immediately it catches fire. But then if you put water, everything will go off, right? The fire will go. That means what? If we are in a bad association, then it will never ignite. The fire will never ignite. But when you come into the association of pure devotee, or when you get a blessing of a spiritual master, when you get his blessing, then we are able to understand what is that pure love. So basically that dust can be cleaned. This is the one Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Chaito Darpana Marjanam. So that dust which is accumulated in the heart, right? That goes by chanting the holy names, holy name of the Lord. So then we can, the consciousness will become clear. And here when the mirror is covered with dust, we cannot see anything clear, right? It will be, the face is not clear. So basically it is compared to the animal life, because animals cannot understand the existence of soul. Though they have a little bit of intelligence, we see that many people, they make the dogs to do so many activities. They throw the ball, it will bring it, and they make them dance and these many things. And also we have seen even tigers are trained to do so many things, and the monkeys. So they all have a little bit of intelligence, but they still, it is not developed. So the more lust is covered in the animal life. But when you come to the plant life, it is more covered. So they can't even move. They very less freedom. We can see the freedom is more in human life compared to animal life, and animal life is more fearful. And even the plant life, they don't even, the consciousness is very, very low. It's very covered. That is why it is called as what Krishna, sorry, where is it? Okay. Yeah, you can see here a fire, as fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror is covered by dust, or the embryo is covered by womb. Similarly, the living entity is covered by different stages of dust. So this is a embryo covered, is covered by the womb. So this is called as plant life. So this is the same thing. As fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror is covered, you can see here, the smoke is covered, and embryo is covered by the womb. here the plant life, and the living entity is similarly, mirror is covered by dust. So here animal life and embryo is covered by, so different degrees of lust. Avritam jnanamayetena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurre nanalena cha. You can read. Yeah, please read.
Thus, a man's pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire.
Yeah. So if we are feeding more, whatever our senses are asking, we are giving more to our senses for sense enjoyment, it burns like a fire more and more. But then we have to control our senses. Otherwise, it is very difficult. It will never get satisfied. That's what Lord is telling here. Tasmatvam indriyana dau niyamya bharatarshava papmanam prajahiyena jnana vignena nashanam.
Therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bharatas, in the very beginning curb this great symbol of sin, lust, by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization.
So this becomes very important. See, so Krishna is telling very beginning we have to curb that. So whenever we get some sinful tendency or some bad thought, immediately we have to stop it there. Or if it becomes more and you get more attached and then lust develop and these things, then it is very difficult to control it at a later stage. So very beginning one has to control it. Whenever if we get that such thought, so how it can be controlled? So in the previous chapter, Krishna says, Rasavarjam rasopyasya param društva nivartate. So give a better engagement for your mind, right? Then automatically what will happen? The lower taste will go. So how do we give that taste? We have to do more of sadhana. Sadhana in the sense, like Prabhupada has given, like do 16 rounds of chanting. Okay, at least start doing one round. And then read Prabhupada books. Okay, more and be in association of devotees. So by doing this, what will happen? And also now, like your Bhagavad Gita, or start with reading Bhagavad Gita. So by this, what happens? Our senses get higher taste, and by that we can regulate the senses, and then the destroyer of knowledge, right? Krishna is calling it lust as a destroyer of knowledge, because once is in the 8 stages of fall down, we see that when person's intelligence fall down, right? Because when he get illusion, when he gets anger, he gets bewildered, and from bewilderedness cause the illusion. So illusion, loss of memory, and then he loses his intelligence. So that is why when there is no intelligence, then where is the knowledge, right? There is no knowledge, and the person cannot never think about self-realization. So if the intelligence is not able to discriminate what is wrong and what is right, then he'll be one after the other, he's engaged in sinful activities. So he can never think of self-realization, or I am a body, I'm not, I'm a soul, I'm body, I'm not body. These things will never come to him. So you have to be very careful. Okay. So these are different platforms. So to identify which level, which platform we can know here, right? So if a person is only engaged in sense enjoyment, right? So on the bodily needs, taking care of only eating, drinking, sleeping, and he has all sinful activities also he do, right? So then that person is on bodily platform, because he don't know anything apart from, he thinks that life is just eating, sleeping, right? What are the 4 things common between? There are 4 things which are common between an animal and human beings. That is eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So eating means eating, even the animal do, and we also do. And animals can eat more than us also, right? Even the one elephant eat quintals of it needs so many quintals of food. But then we can't even say that I am better than animal, I eat more. They also enjoy eating. So eating is there. Eating, mating. It is called as ahara, nidra, bhaya, maituna. So ahara is eating, nidra is sleeping. So sleeping also we also do, even animals do, right? And then comes defending. Defending means saving for the future. Even the animals do that. We think that we have to do for our children and for future, and we do. Why people work so hard day and night to save money for their and also generations to come. So, but then even animals do that. They also take for their babies, right? They also take care so much. We have seen even the birds also take care of their smaller ones. So that is also there, defending. And then mating. Mating means basically having children. So the human beings have children and also the animals have. So what is the difference? So nothing. We are only earning more to enjoy, to keep to in a better way to enjoy and take care of our senses, right? In a luxury form, like we in a bigger plate we eat and we have very nice foods. That's all. Then that means we are completely on bodily platform and nothing else. Oh. And then higher to that is sensual platform, where the person is working very hard. Okay, here he's not even working very much hard, only he wants to eat and enjoy. But then here he has some aim in life, he want to achieve something, but then he always constant comparison with others. So if he does something well in life, he's happy, and something goes wrong in life, he is disappointed. And if somebody else is better than him, he doesn't like it. So this is Rajoguna basically. And this is a sensual platform where always the mind is disturbed, because it's always constant comparing with others and not happy. So this is sensual platform. So higher to that is mental platform. So this is the person is in a sattva guna, we can tell. So this is a tamoguna, rajoguna, and here a sattva guna, where the person likes good music, right? Likes to read good books. Basically, his mind is at peace. He does not involve in any sinful activities. So that is the next stage, mental platform. So higher to that is intellectual platform. So here the person starts questioning, okay, who am I? What is the purpose of my life? And these questions come to the person only when he is in intellectual platform. So higher to that is spiritual platform, where he has already realized that what is his duty. I am a spirit soul and my duty is to serve the Lord. And I have the eternal connection with the Lord. So this understanding comes when one has reached the spiritual platform. So the last sloka. Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya param manaha manastu para buddhir buddhir parastu saha yo buddhe paratastu saha. Yes.
The working senses are superior to the dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence.
Yeah. So basically here, higher is the soul. Okay. We'll see in the next example how to understand this better. So this is displayed like this. So we can see these are the 5 senses. Okay. Eyes, nose, ear, right? This is skin, and then mouth, the taste. So these 5 senses, we have these 5 senses, and basically this chariot is compared to our body. Okay. And body, compared to body, the senses are higher, and higher to senses is the mind. So mind is the one which is controlling this, right? All the senses, mind is controlling. The rope you can see here, right? This is called as reins. So the rope is controlling the horses. That is, mind is controlling the senses. Then who is this passenger? Passenger is the intelligence. So intelligence is higher to the mind, because if intelligence is able to see what is right and what is wrong, it instructs the mind. And if even if the senses ask me to do some, if I'm not well, and for example, I have a fever, and doctor has advised me you shouldn't have the oily items. But then if somebody is having, like, or your friend calls out for having something, snacks or oily thing, then the intelligence tell, no, you should not have it, right? Then senses will control. So the intelligence will tell the mind, and mind will tell the senses, don't have it, it's not good for you. So that is what is the intelligence work. So higher to that is the soul. So the soul is like a passenger in this chariot. So what is happening now? Currently, we are listening to the senses, and we are not seeing the soul. So soul is not getting, so we are not giving food basically for the soul. So, but when we start giving food for the soul, then the senses also will be in control, and intelligence and mind also will work properly. So how do we do that? We have
chanting.
Yes, by chanting, what happens? The mind will not go crazy, right? It will not go crazy. It will, it will listen to us. So basically, when you feed the soul gets satisfied, it get the food. So it take us in the right direction, right? So we have to read, chant and read, and be in association of the devotees. So this is the self. Okay. So the chapter summary: renunciation or action, ekam vada, nishkama karma yoga or jnana yoga, which is better, niyatam kuru karma. Karma kanda to karma yoga. So karma kanda means Vedas mention about the karma kanda, like do this and you get some fruits. So by gradually doing that, one gets elevated to karma yoga, like connecting to God. Like then he starts to give to the Lord. Pravartitam chakram. So that cycle of chakra we saw, the how one can satisfy the Lord. So lead by example. Yadyat acharati shreshtas, greatest enemy iha vainam. So in this world, material world, greatest enemy is the lust. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Any questions you can ask? Okay, anybody has any questions on today's subject chapter? Please read out after this. You can go through the puppet, okay, the shlokas and puppet. It is better. Okay, who can tell what are the main thing we learned today? Just one. Everybody can tell one point. What did you understand? What did we learn today? What are the things we learned?
Nishkama karma yoga.
Okay, very good. Yes. And then what was the other yoga? One is Nishkama, and the other one. How to come to Nishkama karma yoga?
Bhakti yoga.
No, Bhakti yoga is highest. Sakama karma, right?
yoga.
One portion. Yeah. A portion of it you give. So that is Sakama karma yoga to Nishkama. Yes, good. So what else? What else did we learn? So what is good? What did Krishna say about renunciation? Is it renunciation good or action? What is good?
Renunciation.
Renunciation.
Renunciation means giving up all activities. We saw the example of that sannyasi.
But ma'am,
right?
isn't renunciation of the fruit of the action better?
Yeah, renunciation of fruits of action is better. Yes, that you have to mention. Yes, renunciation of the fruits of action. But not, it should not become like a, just renounce everything and take sannyas. No? So better than that, Krishna says, doing work is better than giving up or becoming a pretender. So means you have to work, but then give up the fruit of action. Okay, it's not renunciation. Yes, what else we learned? Lead by example, right? How one has to lead by example, being a, like yadyad achariti shreshtas, we saw. And then the different platforms and the 3 coverings. Can somebody tell what is it compared to? The lust compared, what is lust compared to in human life?
Smoke covered by fire, and mirror covered by dust, and embryo covered by the womb.
What is it compared to? What life?
It is compared to like a man when he is in pure consciousness. It is covered by lust, and it can.
That is compared to human life, right? So the mirror covered by dust. What life it is compared to?
Animal life.
Animal life.
And then the embryo, the in the womb. What is it compared to? Which life?
Plant life.
Plant life. Okay, very good. So these we learned. And what is the greatest enemy that Krishna compares? Who is the greatest enemy? Yeah.
Lust is the greatest enemy.
Yes, the lust. And the hierarchy we understood, no? What is the hierarchy? The first will be in the lower stage is the body, right? The body higher because the body is a dead material, because every day it dies. There are so many cells dies. So this body is compared to dead material. So one day everything will go, right? This body, it will vanish. It will. When we die, this body will get decomposed. So that is why the body is the lowest. So it is compared to a dead material, and higher to that body is the senses, and higher to the senses is the mind, and higher to mind is the intelligence, higher to intelligence is the soul. So basically we have to feed the soul, then everything will be in line. So start feeding the soul. We have forgot completely that. So start chanting is very much essential. So all of you please chant at least 1 round. How many of you do at least, have you started chanting? Okay, very nice. Okay, Archana, Varun, Varnika. Okay, very nice. Okay, 1 round you chant at least?
2 times.
Oh, very nice. Haribol, very nice. Oh, 4. Okay. 4 means how 108 into 4, right? It's not like just Hare Krishna man 4 times. Okay. Okay, good. So, okay. Okay, great. Very nice. Anything, what do you feel like? How did you feel after chanting? Any difference you felt? Like, did you get some mental peace or like that? Did you experience anything? Can share. You can unmute and speak. Yes. Archana? Yes.
Yes, Mataji. Before I was literally very much angry and I used to not listen to my parents. After chanting Hare Krishna mantra and going to the temple, I'm little bit calm and I won't react so much. Like I would be peaceful now.
Yes. Why can somebody, can you, do you know why it is like that? How does that happen?
Because the Mahamantra is Lord Krishna himself. So when we are chanting, it's like having Krishna, like it's like talking with Krishna, having connection with Krishna.
Yes. And also it is because, yes, very nice. And also because Krishna is Rishikesha, because he is the master of senses and mind. So when we are chanting, our mind is because we are surrendering to Lord. So basically what is Hare Krishna mantra? It is a basic surrendering, right? Unless we surrender, we can't chant. It is like you are surrendered already to the Lord. So Krishna is controlling. So Krishna actually controlled the senses and mind of Arjuna because Arjuna was an eternal associate of the Lord, but then he brings him to bewilderment, and then because he had to deliver the Gita. So when we chant, even our mind also, with that sincerity, if we do, then 100% the result will come. So, but more and more chanting, because Prabhupada has given 16 rounds, but that may be difficult for you because you're all studying, and along with that, it is possible. There are many children who do practice of more rounds, but okay, at least you start. It's really good. Like 4 rounds is really good. 2 rounds, 4 rounds, because you have just started. It's very good. Yes, Varun, you want to share your experience? How do you feel chanting? Okay. My mind was in my control, Mataji, after chanting. Okay, very nice. Yes. So whenever you feel agitated or your mind is disturbed, start chanting. I mean, calm your mind and chant. So you will see the effect. Okay. Okay, very nice. Okay. So no other questions, then we can close. So we meet tomorrow. पाञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Okay, 3 times Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare. I'll unmute and you can chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Unmute.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Okay, see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.